Now, brother, you see this organization, so after I received a Nobel Peace Prize and some money, and I think half give to Baba Amde. It's wonderful, practical. The handicapped people, kasaju, lepers, no? I have been there. I really admire. So half money, give them, and half state start this organization. And thank. I often is telling him he should be more active. A nice speech, okay, but action, very important. Now this kind of program, very good. So now, I think it's best to ask children, what's the value? What's the source of they are joyful? No philosophy, no other complication. They simply say, when mother paying attention and smiling and feeding milk, and then these young children, they don't care what is different religion, what is different nationality. So I think basic human value at a young age, very alive. Once we joined education from kindergarten and then up to university, with too much emphasis, differences, religion, nationality, and then different profession. In existing education field, it seems to say not talking about our inner value, particularly so-called the modern education. This country, India, over 3,000 years, the concept of ahimsa and karuna. There, over 3,000 years. And then karuna, ahimsa, very much related with emotion, mind. Therefore, in this country, 3,000 years, the technique how to transform our mind. So shamatha, vipassana, over 3,000 years before Buddha, already, you see, these concepts already developed in this country. So therefore, now, after, say, eventually, and as far as this country is concerned, they introduced by Britisher modern education. Oh, wonderful for material development and education about science, technology, all these, wonderful. But then I think this country had neglected about basic ancient Indian knowledge. You see, how to tackle our emotion. So existing modern education is very much oriented about material value. So, obvious, these young children, at a young age, they don't care. So now look at world. And every news, sad news, killing, starvation, like Yemen and some African country due to nature disaster. Very sad. But many suffering is our own creation. Why? Everybody want, you see, happiness, joyful life. Nobody want to willing to kill or willing to sacrifice their own life. But I think the past feudal system, power in few people's hand, religiously or some other reason, is and then utilize thousands of people organized as a soldier and killing. Now today's world is democratic world. Ruler of the country is people, not few individuals. The totalitarian system or military sort of system is few people have the power to order, go there, kill, and don't care your own life. I think these are old thinking, outdated. So very concept of war is outdated. Now today, world belongs to the people. Each country belongs to the people, not individual leader. So individual person, it is immoral to order, go fight. So therefore, only thing is, now this century should be a century of dialogue. When there are some differences always happen. Like is one family, some differences, different opinion, maybe little sort of say harsh word, little quarrel, but almost impossible to kill. So like whole humanity, according to today's circumstances, the global economy and global warming, now we should act like one community. Western future depend East, Eastern future West. Similarly, North and South. That's the today's reality. So today, I think our human community is the whole 7 billion human beings, like one community. So therefore, now any sort of disagreement, problem, have to find mutually agreeable solution, through that way try to solve. Now, hopefully, we should say goodbye to weapon. That's previously, yes, very relevant. Because of the human society, this is sword, these something, important. So we also, you see, put some sword and spear in God's hand. I think God should be complete compassionate, but because of our sort of the reality, our life, the weapon, something relevant. So therefore, some wrathful deity also put some weapons in their hand. I feel wrong, truly. So therefore, now generally, whole world need is a non-violent principle. There's India's sort of concept, ahimsa, karuna. Now that must educate childhood, from childhood, kindergarten level. As I mentioned earlier, young age, these basic human value very fresh. Now the mistake is once we join education, not talking about these value. So these days I expressing. So in kindergarten level, we also used to teach the hygiene of emotion, no hygiene of physical. Yes, important. The same time, we should include hygiene of emotion in our education field. Then from kindergarten level up to university level. So these basic human value, it's a question of day-to-day happy life and a happy family. Not necessarily, you see, teach. These are important for nirvana, for next life. No. Simply, children, as our scientists say, basic human value, basic human nature is more compassionate. The scientists say, if we take some Buddha's quotation or some religious leader's quotation, then those non-believers say, oh, don't care. No? But now scientifically, now they realize compassionate mind is very important. And the basic human nature also you say more compassionate. It's quite sort of clear at the beginning of our life, compassion, mother's love. Without that, we can't survive. Then at the last day, we are dying on the bed, surrounded by smiling friend, trusted friend, showing compassion. The dying person feel much happier. So dying person then know the lot of money, wealth, and fame, and education. He or she now realize no use. At the time of dying, surrounded with such a compassionate friends, then that dying person feel happy. So therefore, warm-heartedness, compassion is whole our life. At the beginning, at the end, much better. So therefore, this is the scientific basis we can teach children. Not necessary to take some quotation like that. So then in ancient Indian tradition, about mind, about peace of mind, already there. Now modern education started here. Then these point neglected. So now time come, India should combine ancient Indian knowledge about peace of mind, ahimsa, karuna, and shamatha, and vipassana, then plus modern education about material value, science, technology. This is also very, very important, very good. So India is the only nation who can combine ancient India's own sort of knowledge about our mind, and then modern sort of knowledge about the material value. India, I think, can combine. Only this country, no other country. So now, world need a compassion, wholeheartedness. Seed is there. The education now further strengthening these things. So young age, like other animal, compassion, very relevant, but they have no ability, use, or say the brain, no education. We have this education. So that value, because of the basic value by birth, biologically, they are now education, now helping to not only survive, but also further, because of the strengthen. Like that. So once India, you see, practice these things in the education field, then I think more other country, other people may follow, because world need human compassion. Otherwise, today's world really very sad. Okay, now some questions.
Please raise your hand. Please identify yourself and where you're from. Yep.
I'm Ravza Farzan from Kabul, Afghanistan. And I wanted to ask that if we want to create one team that's working for peace, something like that, how religion can help us? How can it help us to move or something work for peace? How? Well, I wanted to know about it.
Kasa.
Afghanistan.
Oh, Afghanistan. Oh, I see. Oh. Now, the number of society or group who are working peace or compassion. But I think key things, education field. Then the whole generation who come through that kind of education, then bring some differences. Otherwise, few individual, you see, some sort of big name and collecting more money. That kind of work also the way for business. Now we are really facing problem. There are plenty of organizations who are working for peace, for dialogue, but not sufficient. I think including United Nations, they try their best, but not sufficient. For example, Afghanistan, the human rights violation and some other sort of problem, United Nations from time to time expressing, and some officials there. But unless the society is carrying some responsibility, that not by order, but by awareness, using weapon, no way, solve problem. And Afghanistan, Shia and Sunni, business. India, millions of Muslims here, Shia, Sunni there. I never heard problem among Indian Muslim, Shia and Sunni, and also Indian Muslim. Is a very good relation with Indian Christian, Hindus, no problem. So therefore, I think the people through education, you see, should know Shia and Sunni. same Allah, same Quran, 5 days prayer, five times prayer, no differences. Then sometimes politicians use the different name, Shia and Sunni. So people, I think basic education, basically education, and should create, why? India, over billion populated nation, very peaceful. Religious harmony is concerned, very, very good here. This is not after independent development, not that. 3,000 years, religious harmony is there. So therefore, the religious harmony is very possible. So now through awareness, in order to develop awareness, education. This is how I feel. I really feel very sorry. Afghanistan, our neighbor from India is our neighbor. From Tibet, an ancient time, we have some close connection. So, like that, so very sad. Very sad. And on top of that, now the global warming, Afghanistan, many lakes dry. Now climate, because of the global warming, because of climate change, I think become more serious. Next few decades, I think global warming truly become more serious, very difficult in Afghanistan. When I come from Europe over Afghanistan, a large area is a sign, dry lake, and a few small valley. I really feel, the whole country now facing some serious sort of situation. So instead of fighting, build more canal, you see more various methods, you see, to utilize how to preserve water, like that. So, yes, now next question.
Hello everyone, Namaste. I'm Akash Payar I came from Hearts of Nepal, Kathmandu. I came from project of Hakuna Matata, which is run by Sat. So my question is for you, how do we cope with the loneliness when we are actually lonely? Is it governed by our fate or destiny?
Yes. According to our tradition, this is something happened, let's say due to karma. Too simple. Who creates karma? Ourselves. Karma means action. As I mentioned earlier, when we face some problem due to our own action, so we have to think our action, proper action, more compassionate action brings, you see, because of happiness. Negative action, harming other people, cheating other people, bullying other people, then you get more problem. So, a person carry meaningful action, meaningful life. Even if some difficulties, you have no regret. Otherwise, because a millionaire, very rich, but mentally feel some uncomfortable, some guilty feeling, then that millionaire never be happy. Pure here, beggar also feel very happy. So economy is secondary because of the secondary factor. The main thing is our motivation, our mental state. Mental state pure. Then you will get confidence. Okay, as I feel.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tanvir Alam and I'm from Dhaka, Bangladesh. I attended a workshop which was held in my school about ethics, peace and understanding oneself, and a question had always been bothering me. I'm in my early teenage and I think I'm living an ideal teenage life. I have good grades, I'm surrounded by my loved ones, I practice both religious practices and meditation. But there is always a lingering sadness within me which doesn't fade no matter what I do. I've tried various meditations and exercises, but it does not seem to work. Can you please tell me what is the cause of my sadness and how do I overcome it?
Oh, very complicated question. Then there are different people naturally have different mental disposition. So in deeper, basically, as already I mentioned, more warm-heartedness, then you will not feel lonely. All your surrounding people consider as your brother, sister. Now, my Indian friend once told me the rate of suicide in Delhi city higher and countryside much less. The reason countryside, farming, farmland, the sense of community more alive. So that brings the concept of we there. In big city, just one family and getting salary, work like that. So just me, not we. So that I think make differences. And then deeper level, yes, now there are different, the mental element that related with deep inside some kind of sadness. And that, I think, level, believe Allah, God, also useful, creator. Then, according Indian tradition, the practice of Shila, practice of Shamatha, practice of Vipassana. Vipassana, there are many differences. So that also now related with the concept of Atma and Anatma. Anatma, according Buddhist tradition. Then Anatma theory, there are so many different variety or different level of the concept of Anatma. So this wisdom, understanding, tackling a deep level of emotion. Most of emotion based on ignorance. So the only because of the remedy is wisdom, not prayer, not faith. That's the Nalanda tradition, very scientific.
Hello, I am Suhail. I am from Sri Lanka. Schools are labeled by its religion like Muslim college, Hindu college and Buddhist college in my country. Parents also wish to send children to their own religion's school. So I don't have chances to interact with other students who believe different faiths. What will be the solution for this?
Generally speaking, it is better school, even I think university level, religion, something kasota, some special subject. But generally, I think in school, basically follow secular way without touching religion. That's, I think, better. Then higher study, then religion. Then you should include the concept of one religion and the concept of several religions. So individual case, concept of one religion is good. But in terms of community, automatically we should have concept of several religion, several faith. So sometimes you see people in religious field emphasis just on one religion, concept of one religion. Individual, okay. But in the terms of society, it's unrealistic. Okay.
Good morning, sir. My name is Mudassir Faz and I am from Kashmir. Sir, being from most disturbed area, that's Kashmir, I have grown up with a word freedom that's being abused violently. Every time I speak it, I get prejudice. Now I want to ask your good self, what is the spiritual and logical meaning of the freedom, and what is the message I can carry and practice it further?
That question very complicated. And our Kashmir problem, I think, over a few decades. Firstly, today's problem is related with division, Pakistan, India, divide. Mahatma Gandhiji totally against partition. Then, one occasion, when I visit Pandit Nehru's official residence, the Sheikh Abdullah Malve, Sheikh Abdullah there. I first met Sheikh Abdullah in Nehru's house, as in Nehru's guest. I think that period, somehow lost. Otherwise, Sheikh Abdullah quite, they call Khasa, a line of Kashmir survey. That's a line of Kashmir. So he can do something. So there is a good opportunity, then lost. Then some fighting start. Spent, station more army, more weapon. It's old fashion. In modern time, through weapon, through force, you can never solve problem by force. That's the ancient time. So now, very sad, Kashmir are historically very close link. In ancient time, Tibetan master, you see, go to India only through Kashmir. Very close link. Very sad. Very sad. Now today's problem is the result of past mistake. Now take time to gradually change. And I believe Farooq Abdullah still there, and then Kasa, Omar. Oh. So I know 3 generations, Sheikh Abdullah, Farooq Abdullah, and Omar Sabe. So it is sad. It is sad. But you see, don't lose your willpower. And willpower should not involve too much emotion. Willpower combined with wisdom. See anything through various angles. Should not look from one angle. From one angle, you can't see the reality. Without knowing the reality, any your effort become unrealistic effort. Any unrealistic effort bring disaster. The things are relevant. Because of the relative. Everything interdependent. So there is a big gap. Now, according to quantum physics also now they say, there is a big gap, appearances and reality. So, wrong decision often happen on the level of appearances. So, we must investigate deeper level of the reality. With understanding, there is a gap, appearances and reality. Now, in order to investigate reality, look 3 dimensions or 4 dimensions. From one dimension, you can't see the reality. So that I want to share. I understand some of your emotion. With Tibet also, many Tibetans, they see too much emotion. As well as the Chinese, also too much emotion. There's some decision when they take their mind too emotion, then often become wrong. Calm mind, very important. In order to utilize human intelligence properly, your mind should be calm.
Hello everyone, my name is Pooja Deb and I'm from Manipur, India. Since I came from a conflict-affected area where conflicts happen every now and then, my question is, in the midst of conflict, how can I cultivate peace within myself?
Just knowledge. I think I want, so my university recommendation is read Shantadeva's book. Shantadeva's book. And then read Shantadeva's book. A great Indian Nalanda master. He practiced altruism and he experienced sort of altruism, and the way to put the value of altruism, not faith, but through reasoning. He make comparison. Was it a self-centered attitude, selfish, and altruism?
So in this book, Shantideva says, whatever suffering there is in the world, all come through selfish attitude, wishing oneself to be happy. And whatever happiness there is in the world, all comes from wishing others to be happy.
And this will be the
And then Shantideva goes on to say in the same text that, unless you switch your own selfish attitude with the joys, your joy with the suffering of others, and leave alone reaching Buddhahood, even in this cycle of existence, unenlightened existence, you will not have happiness.
Obviously, people think just oneself, me. Then all sort of the appearances look something negative, suspect. Once you see you develop the altruism, think other, entire sentient being as a other mother-centered being. And I want happiness. Everyone want happiness, and some different degree. Otherwise, basically, everyone want happiness. Insect also. So think more, concern about others' well-being. Then everything appears more positive. Rangdung Bushik Sama, the Nungsi Tala Shatia. Shandu Sama, Nungsi Nyan Shat.
So it's actually true that if you are able to, if you remain selfish, and everything and everybody else around you would actually appear as adversaries to you. If you remain altruistic towards others, everybody will actually appear as friends.
So that's very true. I think scientifically, we can prove through scientific research. So whether believer or non-believer, as a human being, as a living being, this is mental level, that thinking very, very important. Really makes differences. So I'm one practitioner of altruism. Really, according to my own experience, really very, very useful. Then sometimes wrathful deities, I have less respect. Entire sentient being appears mother sentient being. Then wrathful deity,
So whom do these wrathful deities actually, show their wrath to?
So last few years, when I give some sort of, initiation, or abhisheka, usually you see at the beginning some sort of part or some
Ritual.
Part of the ritual at the beginning, expel negative sort of also the spirit. So since last few years, I never practiced that. Entire sentient being, as a dear guest, no one to expel. If you make distinction, some are negative force, then your practice of bodhicitta were gone. As a result, now I feel much happier. When you see some ghost, some sort of evil spirit, I really feel very dear. Okay. Thank you.
Baba, thank you very much, Your Holiness.